Benin 112 square kilometer. Eritrea 170 square kilometer. Malawi 118 square kilometer. North Korea 120 square kilometer. Nicaragua 113 square kilometer. Greece 131 square kilometer. Tajikistan 143 square kilometer. Nepal 147 square kilometer. Bangladesh 147 square kilometer. Tunisia 163 square kilometer. Suriname 163 square kilometer. Uruguay 176 square kilometer. Cambodia 181 square kilometer. Syria 185 square kilometer. Senegal 186 square kilometer. Kyrgyzstan 199 square kilometer. Belarus 207 square kilometer. Guyana 214 square kilometer. Laos 236 square kilometer. Romania 238 square kilometer. This is a list of the worst countries and their dependencies by land, water, and total area, ranked by total area. Ghana 238 square kilometer. Uganda 241 square kilometer. United Kingdom 243 square kilometer. Guinea 245 square kilometer. Gabon 267 square kilometer. New Zealand 267 square kilometer. Burkina Faso 274 square kilometer. Ecuador 283 square kilometer. Philippines 300 square kilometer. Italy 301 square kilometer. Oman 309 square kilometer. Poland 312 square kilometer. Ivory Coast 322 square kilometer. Norway 323 square kilometer. Malaysia 329 square kilometer. Vietnam 331 square kilometer. Finland 338 square kilometer. Republic of the Congo 342 square kilometer. Germany 357 square kilometer. Japan 377 square kilometer. A country is distinct part of the word, such as a state, nation, or other political entity. It may be a sovereign state or make up one part of a larger state. Zimbabwe 390 square kilometer. Paraguay 406 square kilometer. Iraq 433 square kilometer. Morocco 446 square kilometer. Uzbekistan 447 square kilometer. Sweden 415 square kilometer. Papua New Guinea 462 square kilometer. Cameroon 475 square kilometer. Turkmenistan 488 square kilometer. Spain 505 square kilometer. Thailand 513 square kilometer. Yemen 527 square kilometer. Kenya 518 square kilometer. Botswana 581 square kilometer. Madagascar 587 square kilometer. Ukraine 603 square kilometer. South Sudan 619 square kilometer. Central African Republic 622 square kilometer. Somalia 637 square kilometer. France 643 square kilometer. A desert is a broad area of landscape where little precipitation occurs and consequently living conditions are hostile for plant and animal life. Afghanistan 652 square kilometer. Myanmar 676 square kilometer. Zambia 752 square kilometer. Chile 756 square kilometer. Turkey 783 square kilometer. Mozambique 799 square kilometer. Namibia 824 square kilometer. Pakistan 881 square kilometer. Venezuela 912 square kilometer. Nigeria 923 square kilometer. Tanzania 947 square kilometer. Egypt 1,001,000 square kilometer. Mauritania 1,013,000 square kilometer. Bolivia 1,098,000 square kilometer. Ethiopia 1,104,000 square kilometer. Colombia 1,138,000 square kilometer. South Africa 1,290,000 square kilometer. Mali 1,214,000 square kilometer. Angola 1,246,000 square kilometer. Niger 1,267,000 square kilometer. The ocean, also known as the sea or the water ocean, is a body of salt water that covers approximately 70.8% of the Earth and contains 97% of Earth's water. Chad 1,284,000 square kilometer. Peru 1,285,000 square kilometer. Mongolia 1,564,000 square kilometer. Iran 1,648,000 square kilometer. Libya 1,759,000 square kilometer. Sudan 1,861,000 square kilometer. Indonesia 1,904,000 square kilometer. Mexico 1,964,000 square kilometer. Saudi Arabia 2,149,000 square kilometer. Democratic Republic of the Congo 2,344,000 square kilometer. Algeria 2,381,000 square kilometer. Kazakhstan 2,724,000 square kilometer. Argentina 2,718,000 square kilometer. India 3,287,000 square kilometer. Australia 7,741,000 square kilometer. Brazil 8,514,000 square kilometer. China 9,597,000 square kilometer. USA 9,826,000 square kilometer. Canada 9,985,000 square kilometer, Russia 7,019,000 square kilometer.